Used to have campfires and all that stuff.
I was just little, but I remember it.
They wouldn't let us go in there, but the older boys would go in there.
Yeah, David and Dean and Kiki and all them would go in there. So it was definitely, like I said, I was just a little cat. So
That's it.
they wouldn't let me walk out the house where I come to the campsite.
I was telling Johnny a while ago, back around here on the back doorstep, one year me and Cliff got Red Ryder BB guns for Christmas. Boy, don't you shoot at one another, don't you shoot at nobody, don't shoot nothing. I was going home, back through this path, Cliff shot me.
And he didn't miss either, did he?
No, he didn't miss. And it was warm enough that the doors was open, screen door was there, you know. I hollered, oh! Lily come bouncing out of the house. What happened? I said, Cliff shot me. She got a fly swatter and got him. Come out there where I was at. Pull your pants down. Let me see where he shot you at.
Down. Oh, goodness.
Cliff was funny and didn't mean to be funny. He was a look, a glance, you know, a little saying. He kept me in trouble more than anybody I know of for laughing all the time.
Yeah, most of the time it was just a look.
It was just a look.
He wouldn't have to send him, just cut them eyes at you, and that'd be it.
I was broke up for a long time. When we was little, go to Aunt Dolly's on a Saturday or Sunday, something like that. And you was in on some of this. We'd get around that kitchen table and he'd start cracking us up. I ain't never carrying y'all nowhere no more. Y'all act like I don't know what, coming in somewhere, giggling and carrying on.
Well, you know what Daddy tell him, boy, I'm fixing to backhand you.
Yep.
Knock you head foremost, isn't that what he said?
Head foremost, that's right.
Or slap you winding, that's another one you tell me.
That's it. And grit his teeth when he does
it. Boy, I'm a... Yeah, so... Yep.
Oh, goodness.
I do have a question for Al first.
All right.
This is going to be the same question for you, Harold. What are your first memories of Cliff?
Very first memories. Oh, Lord. As far back as I could remember, he was my best friend. And he was always there. You know, we played together as little bitty children, and right on up till he passed, I wasn't able to be around him as much in the older years because I had moved, you know. But Cliff couldn't walk and when he did learn to walk, he couldn't walk a long ways, you know. And I pulled him all over this place here in a wagon. And we just had a good time, man. Wherever we went, we had a blast. We was giggling and laughing about something, you know. And like I said, there used to be a path, went back through here. We'd go to Lawrence and Mary and Harold's, or either go to Sisters and them and come back home. And we had a good time. We had a good time. He was a good time. It didn't even mean to be, but he was.
Wasn't trying to be funny.
No.
What about you, Harold?
I think I was with him ever since I was a little cat. So it was always, I remember, but the big thing, I would come over here when we were out of school, during the summer. I think it was every Tuesday. I don't know why. It was something that we'd watch on TV, I think. I would come over here every Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it was Tuesday. And we would, you know, play. But now when 12:30 came, you know what you had to do? You had to be quiet.
That's right.
Because Y&R was on.
Yep.
So you had to be quiet. But once that was off, then, you know, we could play records or play with his racetrack or Evel Knievel or golly, you name it. And those are the fondest memories I have. Just growing up, and most of the time I'd come over here. It's like Al said, there's a lot of times he could walk. I mean, I could remember certainly when he could walk, but he couldn't walk far. But he'd come over to the house every now and then. But most of the time I would come over here. So I think and just being together with him at church and everything. So we were all together quite a bit. Me, Cliff, Stephen, Robbie, Al, just a bunch of us.
What's the worst trouble y'all gotten with him?
Oh.
Worst trouble. I don't know that I ever got
That you can talk about.
That we can
Yeah.
talk about. I'll tell you one I was about to do, but we didn't do because of Lily. But Cliff wanted to go out. You know, Cal had done passed away, and Cal had his fun and done everything, but Cliff wanted to go out, and so I was fixing to come up here and get him. And as soon as I got in the door, I know y'all going out. Yes, ma'am. Now, I know that you ain't gonna carry Cliff nowhere where there's no dancing and drinking and carrying on. No, ma'am.
But that's what you were planning,
That's
huh?
what we was planning. I don't even remember the name of the place now, but it was some
Probably
folks.
Plumes.
I can't remember, but there was some people gonna meet us, you know, and there weren't no phones back then, cell phone. And so I finally got Cliff loaded up in the car, and he said, "Where we going?" I said, "We ain't going. We might go to the mall. We ain't going nowhere." Boy, you talking about mad? He was. She ain't gonna find out. I said, "I don't care. I can't do it."
When you least expected, they'd find out, huh?
She knew if you did anything before we got home, if we got in trouble anywhere, she knew it. She already knew it. So,
And you probably had that look on your face when you
yes,
came
sir.
in anyway.
That's right.
All right, you was doing something you wasn't
Yep.
supposed to do.
Well, when they had to put up with Dean and Mama, I bet you they knew exactly what was going on beforehand.
Me and Cliff got caught smoking up here behind our house one time. I'd snuck some cigarettes out of the house, and they want them old mowers that we smoked later. But Isaac come around the end of the house, and there we was smoking. Cliff, he got scared, and he went home. I went in the house, and I thought he was gonna kill me, but he sat there and made me smoke a cigarette till I was green. I didn't want another one for a long time.
I can't really think of any really mischief that we really got into. I mean, other than just being mischievous and maybe misbehaving in church or something like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I can't, because I mean, the preacher and the deacons would.
What about the phone calls y'all used to make? That he used to tell me about.
Oh, prank calls?
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh, we'd take a random number or whatever and make a prank call to somebody. Is this Joe's mortuary or something like this? And I said, huh? What? Oh, I'm sorry, we got the wrong number.
Yeah.
And we would do that for an hour and a half, 2 hours
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
times, just being mischievous like that. So yeah.
Because you and him, you taped who snoring sometimes too. Who was it that you taped snoring? You and him.
You going back in the archives. So, I guess it'd be more over here. I reckon it would be John Mark or someone like that, because I'd be over here most of the time. So it'd be John Mark or one of those that we would tape doing that and play it back and be laughing about it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh gosh.
A lot of good memories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cal was just as mischievous as Cliff was.
Yeah. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
So I didn't hang with Cal like I did with Cliff. So
I think Cal was I was about 20 when Cal died, and had already started driving. Cal wanted to learn how to drive. So did Cliff.
Dad actually gave him lessons and took him to get his license.
How about
'cause
that?
my dad got chewed out for it. I remember him telling me the story, and so did Cliff. And Dad took him out and started off with a golf cart, and then took him out driving. And got back then you could have a day license, and he got a day license.
Seemed like I remember that.
Yeah, I think I remember that too. Yeah. Speaking of Cal, I remember not more, but he had that 3-wheel bicycle. You remember that 3-wheel bicycle he had?
I do remember that.
Now he could wheel that now, son. And I mean, he could take it and go, and he'd let me ride it sometime, and I'd just be in a circle. I couldn't get that thing straight for nothing, but boy, Cal could. He could ride it from here to the end of the road and back with no problem.
He could that. Cliff and me, one time I had a Dodge car. You remember that brown Dodge?
I do remember that. When you got caught going through Camden when we went to Carowinds that
Yes,
time.
sir.
I hadn't forgot that.
We'd a load of us, boy, we'd load up on a Sunday and go to the zoo or go somewhere.
That's right.
You know, bowling, it didn't matter. But I remember that one time we loaded up, was going to Riverbank Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
It was me and you and Cliff and Carla Bosa and the Norris girls, Cameron Tanya.
That's right. Still got pictures of that. Pictures.
How about that?
Yeah.
And there were so many of us in the car, every time we hit a bump, the back end would skip
It'd
down.
scream.
Whoop, 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 all the way to Columbia and all the way back.
That was a good time. I remember that.
We had a good time. Good time.
Yeah, sure did.
What were some of your best memories of him as far as in Long Branch?
Well, I guess with me, when we were coming up, we had the Royal Ambassadors, the RAs.
Yeah.
And we would always, on Wednesday nights, go to the Royal Ambassadors. And he and Robbie and Al, they were, 6, 7 years older than us.
Yep.
So they would be more like, I guess you would call it like a junior leader.
Right.
Right. We'd have our RA leaders, and then you'd have your, I guess, more of a mentorship.
Yeah, back then you had junior leaders.
Yeah, junior leader. And so certainly remember those, and remember a lot of times, like on Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, this is when we'd smaller, we'd go back in the fellowship hall and we'd play that sponge bowl.
That's right. I remember that.
And Cliff was left-handed, and he could put it in a place every single time, no matter where you pitched it. He had one certain place he could hit it, and you couldn't get it to save your life. And he'd get a home run every time on it. But you remember those kinds of things, and coming through the Royal Ambassadors, and just remember that back row back there where we would all sit. A lot of times we'd get called out.
Yep. Cliff's the reason why I couldn't sit back there.
Yeah, Cliff was the big reason we would get called out, wasn't it? And most of the time it'd be Pastor Ansel Norris. He wasn't scared to call you
No,
out. He
sir.
could say, it could be the pastor's daughters, the deacon's sons,
Yep.
the song leader's son. John Mark led the song at the time. The song leader's son. I mean, all of us would just be sinking there. In the back there, the usher's son. So he wasn't scared to call you out. But then, on a serious note, when it was time, looking back at the RAs and whatnot, when it was time to learn, he helped us along with with learning the different verses and whatnot that we had for the Royal Ambassador. So he is very instrumental in helping us, learn basically what the Royal Ambassador Club was all about. Not just being there and having fun and laughing,
right.
but learning, learning God's word, learning, what the Royal Ambassadors were.
Do you remember half of those verses?
Half of them, well, a lot
Or
of them.
some of them? How
Some
about
of
that?
them, well, I mean, you're we are ambassadors for Christ. Of course, John 3:16, of course. Golly, 1 Corinthians, was it 13:10? I think it was. God, there were so many. But your main ones that we usually, when we were trying to basically learn the basic verses, of salvation, Romans 6:23, ones like 3.
The Romans Road?
Romans Road.
Okay.
Things like that being a Royal Ambassador was about. It wasn't just about coming in there and going to the Royal Ambassador games and all, but we, as it said, we are ambassadors for Christ. So we were to go out and spread the gospel. basically. I mean, he was very instrumental in helping us along those lines with that.
See, back then I remember where RAs used to be more of like a Christian type Boy Scouts used to be.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of changed some. That's the reason why they have Awanas and things like that
right.
now.
Yeah, that's
But,
what we got at our church now is a Awana.
And then they have trail keepers and stuff like that too. But I just remember being it more of a basis to where you learn scripture, how to apply it, and how to tell others about Christ.
Right. Cliff was a good singer too. He loved to sing, and every year he did that singing Christmas tree thing, cantata, and boy, he loved stuff like that.
Well, do you remember where he would have those tapes where he and Papa would go out and Grandma would go to do the same thing sometimes, to where every year when they went to the beach, there was a shop in the beach to where you could actually pay, it was $50, and you get studio time for 2 hours. And they would pay for studio time and go ahead and make their own tape. And they would come home with 3 or 4 songs that they sang together.
Yeah, me and Cliff done one time at Carowinds under the boardwalk.
Yeah.
the
I
church
was in on that. I was in on that too. Me and Steven on it.
Boy, I was terrible, man. My voice stuck out like a sore thumb. That's how come I don't sing. It's a good thing to know you can sing, but it's a doggone good thing to know you can't.
Yeah. At that time, he was about the only one that could. I was squealing out like alfalfa at the time.
I'm telling you this morning, my voice didn't change till I was near about 50. And then it went down.
It went down. Yeah, but I'm glad you mentioned those. Was a lot of times when we come up, and I was telling you about those times I would come over here. A lot of times he would play them. And I remember a lot of different ones that he did, and Cliff did, the Under the Boardwalk. He did Under the Boardwalk by himself on the beach.
That's right.
Sounded wonderful too. Oh man,
yeah,
it was...
it sounded good. Several different songs, bunch of them. He had, golly, tapes that high sometimes, and this was the cassette tapes that
Yes. It wasn't no A-track or nothing like that. It was definitely the cassette tapes, and I remember, like you were talking about right after everything at Y&R, Grandma would make me sleep or lay down for a bit, but as soon as probably 2 o'clock hit, he would always put on either Thriller, the Michael Jackson Thriller, or some kind of record he would put on just for me and him, just to kind of sit and relax, and right before his cooking shows would come on.
Yeah.
Emerald Lagasse.
He got to meet
like
him.
Emerald, yeah.
He got to meet him.
Yeah, I remember that.
So,
Got a spatula or something signed by him, I think.
well, he got a spatula, and he also got two cookbooks signed by him. That was whenever, like we were talking, whenever Alice Drive let him go, and they raised all that money for him to go. And I still think the world of that, because like we talked about, it was hard on him. It was very hard on him to see some of the things that some of the kids would treat him differently. And then towards the end of his life, man, for them to just love on him the way they did.
That's right.
It was amazing.
When he had that leg took off, I'll be honest with you, I was scared to death. I didn't know that he would pull through it, because he was sick, man. He was sick. And I talked to him before the surgery. He was in the hospital, and I think it was the morning after the surgery. I called the hospital, and Lily answered. I said, well, how's he doing? Me, I was kind of expecting not maybe so good. She said, oh, he's doing good. You want to talk to him? I said, talk to him? I said, yeah, I'll talk to him. He sounded just like he did every day. When he got that poison out of his system, he got feeling better fast. And he done fairly good.
Well, you remember what you told him whenever we went to Walmart? It was me, you, and him.
Oh, Lord,
he was looking for...
There's no telling. Can we say that on here?
Yes, we can. we were looking for some pajamas for him, and you looked at him with a straight face and said, "Well, Bo, you don't need both legs for him anymore."
Oh,
But he wouldn't have took that to heart with Al like
No,
he
No,
would
no,
with
no,
someone
no,
else,
no.
yeah.
He busted out laughing. Just like Nita, I remember one time y'all did the y'all had the Secret Santa thing for Long Branch for the older Sunday school class, and it was the gag gifts. Nita bought him a toothbrush.
Somebody bought him some toothpicks or something one time too, didn't
Yeah,
well, he made them cinnamon toothpicks.
That's
You
right.
remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah. Yep.
He didn't
God,
have
I
tooth
forgot all
one to
about
wrap them around, but
But they were so good.
yeah, they were.
Cinesticks.
Cinesticks, that's
Yep.
right.
He used
Man,
to
I
have.
forgot all about them.
Well, they would fall apart in his mouth.
Yep.
That and cheese puffs. Those two.
Moore's cheese puffs.
And he those are the two things that he would sit and hum in front of the TV.
Yes, sir.
And
Gum them cheese puffs.
He liked chicken and the biscuit too. Remember them little
Yep.
crackers, chicken and the biscuit?
Yep.
He liked them too.
and then the only reason why he would hum, people didn't even realize that, was because he was clearing out his throat because of the esophagus was closing at times, and he would just hum in order for it just to feel better, so it wasn't just feeling like it was enclosing the whole time.
I remember they had to go in and stretch it a
Good many times.
few times. Yeah.
Good
You know,
many
cow
times.
hum too,
Yep.
like that.
Sure did.
Nikki was close with Cal.
Yeah.
I didn't get to meet him. He died the year I was born.
Yep.
So
Was that 86?
87.
87?
87.
Yeah, you wasn't about 4.5 months old or something like that when Cal.
Because Mama used to tell me he would say that I was a loud baby. That's what he would say.
And mean. I don't know how can a 4-month-old baby be mean, but Cal said he's gonna be mean. He's gonna be mean. We love to go to pawn shops. And remember old Harry's pawn shop used to be downtown?
I do remember that, yes.
I needed some guitar strings. Well, I couldn't afford to go to Seaco's and buy good strings, So old Harry's had bought some guitar strings from somebody. Here goes me and Cal and Cliff piling up in Harry's. Harry was a grouchy old man. And I will change this story for our viewers' sake. So we went in to Harry's and I picked up a thing of guitar strings, and it was maybe $2. Got my $2 out of my pocket, and I said, Cal said, you better look at them strings. I said, they may be rusted up. So I started to open in the package to look at them guitar strings. Sure enough, they was rusted. I told old Harry, he started fussing because I was opening them. And I said, Mr. Harry, I said, these strings is rusted. You got any that ain't rusted? Well, he started. Cal politely told him what he could do with the strings. We had to get up and run out of there kind of quick.
Wow. Man, that is going back in the archives.
Yes, sir.
Great.
He was very well known around town. Everywhere, he knew everybody, and everybody knew him. I know one year, a year or so before Cal died, they were grand marshals of was it Christmas parade?
Yeah.
A parade anyway. And so when everybody was trying to raise money to send them to St. Louis to the Barnes Hospital, see if they could get them better. And he knew everybody. And boy, when he died, they turned out. I mean, they turned out. I've never seen so many flowers in one place in all my life.
Yeah. And they actually, like I said, him and Cal knew
Yeah, that's
a
right.
bunch of people. They turned out for Cal too, yeah.
I remember the last good laugh me and him had. He was in the hospital here, and we knew that his time wasn't long, and once in a while he'd kind of talk out of his head a little bit. And I got in early one morning and went straight to the hospital. And John Mark said, will you stay with him? Let me go downstairs and get something to eat. I said, yeah. We're standing there and I was talking. He wasn't talking a whole lot. And he said, Al. I said, what? He said, are we going to the fair this evening? I said, yes, sir. I said, if you'll get your behind up out in that bed, I said, we'll get ready and go right now. Boy, he cracked up and went to laughing, and he told me, he said, I know the fair ain't here. I just see what you say. That was the last good laugh we had.
He sure did. He and Isaac used to love the fair.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Good gracious.
The fair and the, I don't know if y'all went with both of them to the 441 flea market.
Yes. Yep. And the Jamil Temple once a year had a big parade in Columbia, and big old thing at the temple, and we went every year to that thing. And me and Cliff and Lily had to sit outside in a lobby of the building while they'd done all their Masonic stuff and Shriner stuff in the back room, and you could hear sound like cannons going off, and me and Cliff would run, try to peek through the crack of the door and see what was going on, you know.
If Ike would have seen y'all doing that, now sit y'all, I can hear no sound.
Right. And he probably did.
Oh, gosh.
We'd get ready to go somewhere, and he always, you don't need no girlfriend, you got Cliff. We'd get ready to go somewhere, and he'd say, oh, I reckon you want to go get your gal to go with us. But now, I had a little girlfriend way back then, and I got where on Sunday I'd want to go to her house to see her. And she didn't live too far from here, and that cut Cliff off from us riding anywhere, going anywhere. Boy, he didn't like that a bit.
No, he did not. Anytime you had a female around, he would know that he was going to be the third wheel. And
That's right. I guess you going over there. Yeah.
One would think so. Huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
what are some of the best times to where, as a family unit, that you guys had together? I'll go with you first, Al.
Probably Christmas. Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know. Isaac always cooked at home. It didn't make no difference, you know. If there was just two of us, or if there was, I don't know how. Now I'm fixing to cook right to my house. But
And he could cook too.
And he could cook. But
Sure
then,
could.
you know, sister had food and Lily and them had food. And those times of everybody being together, you know, just a room full of folks gathered together and the food and the laughing and just togetherness, you know, that was some of the best times.
Yeah, I agree with that. Christmas time was amazing because all of us would go over and in the evening of Christmas, we'd go over there and would go in that front room.
Lord, that's the only time you went in that front
Yeah, the
room.
only time you went in the front room was Christmas. That's right. And it would be all of us. I mean, all the cousins. You know, it'd be Daddy and Isaac and Aunt Lily and Aunt Leah and all, you know, all the kids, all the cousins, all of us would be packed in there, and we'd be just like
that's
this,
right.
you know.
Sitting
those-
in each other's
Yeah,
laps.
that's right. So that would be real good times, you know, the whole family being together and him being a part of it. And another good time that we'd have would be Easter.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Because we'd hide the eggs all around here. And,
That's right.
I mean, there wasn't no plastic eggs in it. Was the real thing.
That's right.
No, and sometimes we forget about them, and
That's right. And 4
Grandma
months
would
later,
be,
you smell
is that?
something. Golly, that's one of them old rotten eggs.
Yes, sir. You remember them little old, we used to color them eggs. Had them little old tablets you dropped in water.
That's right. The little, what was it called? Paws?
Paws, that's right.
P-A-A-S.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
but that was some of the best times that Grandma used to have. She would always,
Yeah, she
would
loved
always
Easter.
love Easter. That was hers and Mama's. They would always love watching us, all of us, hide the eggs. And whenever Nikki and I were old enough to do it, you would actually hide the eggs for us.
Yeah.
That was one year I started playing ball, and it was Easter, and Harold and I were tossing the ball back and forth, and Cliff was watching us. Cliff was on the swing over here, and he said, "Well, Bo, I'm gonna get a little faster, so you better get a little bit better." Throws it at me, and it goes straight through and goes straight to my eye.
And Nikki over there laughing at you. Move the glove, Johnny. Yeah, that was classic. I'll have to get another good thing you talking about. Get together. Y'all remember? I know you don't, but you remember when we had what we called a walkathon?
Yes.
We had
I
a
do.
thing called a walkathon at Long Branch, and what
Yep.
that was, it was during the Easter time, and we would raise money for the Annie Armstrong Easter Office.
That's right.
And so all of us, RAs and GAs, the girl, we'd go around and we would get people to sponsor us per mile. We'd walk, and it'd be a 10-mile walk, and we would go around, all of us getting sponsors, to raise money for that. And a lot of times it was a competition between myself and Cliff on who was going to get the most,
Yep.
But it was for a good cause. And I remember that first year, Cliff actually walked it.
Yeah.
He was saying
I
that he
remember
couldn't, said he couldn't, but Cliff actually walked it.
I remember that.
And that was, we did like 83, 84, 80, somewhere in that time frame there. And
Did Cal walk it one time?
I think he walked part of it. I don't know if he walked the
Yeah.
whole thing, but he definitely walked part of it. Cliff did the whole thing, and people would be coming along and bringing water and
Yep.
Gatorade and all to us as we would walk it and raise money. We'd always raise a good bit of money
That's right. Sure would.
for that. So that was always a big thing. That was a 3 or 4 year period there.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
And those trips to Carowinds,
Oh gosh, yeah. We drive that old bus,
Lord have mercy.
and
How we made it there and back, I don't know.
God's grace.
That's right.
But we went a long ways.
Well, y'all didn't have Bobby driving y'all either. We had Bobby driving us whenever we would go to
Oh,
Carolina.
Lord.
We
I
wouldn't
remember
know
one
if we
year was
would.
preaching ours driving.
Yeah. You remember when
Might
we
be.
run out of gas that time?
Lord, yeah.
Well,
Oh.
the needle on the bus was broke.
Right.
So when it ran out of gas, the needle was still showing up by the half a tank.
That old bus, I'm not afraid to say it was from the late 50s or 60s, wouldn't
It
you?
had to be, because it was rough.
Boy, it was rough.
Yeah, but we made a lot of trips in them Carowinds. We would go
Yes,
to the
sir.
Furman football games with RAs. Like I say, how that old bus man, because it didn't have air or heat.
No,
So
sir.
in the summertime, it was blistering hot. You'd have to had the windows down, and a lot of times we'd be standing up by the window like this just to cool down.
That's right.
Probably not to smell much of the stuff, because most of it didn't even believe in deodorant back then.
I don't remember too much of people stinking, I don't think. But
By the end of the day, we probably
by the
were.
end of the day, but then again, all of us was like that, so
That's right.
so we just nullified each other. I guess.
Just smell like soup. It's okay.
Yeah. And then in the wintertime, it'd be so cold, and you'd be bundled up in a blanket blowing smoke.
Yes, sir. Boy,
But it'd make it. I don't
Yep.
know. Like I say, God's grace.
that's all it was.
Yeah. And all of those times that we talk about, Cliff was in on it.
That's right.
He was there, and those are things that that we remember.
Any times that you guys did you guys go to the beach with them at all?
I did a couple times.
Yeah.
I'd meet them down there, because I was coming from home
Mm-hmm.
down there, and had a good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It was so strange. It was most of the people, even whenever, I know that we went every year, but the thing is that when we went, everybody knew who he was still too.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just wherever we went and called him by name.
He
and
loved to go in the Bowery.
Oh yeah.
you know. And
Victor, wasn't that his
Victor,
name?
that's
Yeah.
right. Stayed at the Beverly Hotel, man. We thought we was doing something.
Oh, you so the Ritz-Carlton?
Yes, sir.
To go up on that roof. Did you go up on the roof at all?
I don't remember that. I remember the swimming pool right out the window to the room being right there.
That's right.
Because they got a big old room with a kitchen.
Yes.
And Lily, bless her heart, she wasn't on no vacation. She'd cook.
She'd wake up at 6:30 in the morning cooking, and it was still 6:30 in the morning cooking at the beach.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't no vacation for her, was
No.
it? It wasn't. She treated it just like she was.
Only time that she had a vacation with that is when she would go to the gate off. She would do that, and that was her getaway with it. That, and they did the K&W cafeteria.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was their big time. So
But you talking about that, and I've told you about this one before too. Johnny must have been about, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 years old or something. John Mark was in there looking for his comb. he couldn't find his comb for nothing. He was like, "Where's my comb, man?" And Johnny, "Here it is, Papa." He said, thank you, Johnny." He looked high and dry for that comb, and Johnny walked right up to it. "Here, Papa, it is."
Oh, Lord.
And it wasn't nothing he could say, but thank you, Johnny.
I was telling Al earlier how he would always sneak out and he had Red Man that he would keep from Grandma. He'd always keep it in that Big Ben Chevy truck of his that he had, not the red one, but the Blazer that he had.
Yeah.
And he would always keep all of his stuff in there, keep all of his anything that he would want to hide from Grandma in there. And he didn't know that I actually knew, but I would come walking over there every time. He'd just shove it back into in there whenever I come walking up to him, and he'd try to spit out his tobacco real quick.
You know, all them old people, I don't think Sister Lily ever did, but all the old women in the family, and especially the old men, they all dip snuff or chew tobacco.
Well, Isaac was what? Was it Skulls that he used to have?
He did, Lord, he done some of everything, but he did Skoal a long time. You know, he smoked forever. And did Red Man when I was a little boy. And I got into it one time, me and Cliff. You know, there was 2 chairs on the back porch.
Well, he didn't have nothing to chew with. So
No, he didn't get into it, I did.
Cliff just helped him.
He just helped me, dared me. So I got into that Red Man. And come out on that front porch, and Cliff said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not really."
He got
and
you drunk.
I throwed up off of that porch.
Yeah. Another thing too, you was talking about memories of him going to wrestling.
Yeah.
It used to come when it was the exhibition center at the time. Then it would come every 2 weeks, usually on a Thursday night, and we wouldn't miss. One time, John Mark would take us. The next time, Daddy would take us, and we wouldn't miss it. So we'd go down there. We excuse me. We try to get the wrestlers to sign our autographs and all one time. So we was in there one time, and we had our little pad that we had them sign. I said, "Cliff, hold this for me, boy. I got to go to the bathroom." Got it, and I went to the bathroom, and he come back. He said, "While you was out, I got Jack Briscoe's autograph for you." Well, how I found out that Cliff was the one that signed it, he spelled Briscoe wrong. He put an E on the end. I said, "Uh-huh." I said, "That's your handwriting." And so later in the night, I did get Jack Briscoe's autograph. I said, "Now see, that's his autograph."
Cliff, you know, he could get into anywhere, and they'd let him in. Me and Cliff went to see, I believe it was 1983, Alabama come to Exhibition Center, and it wasn't long after that, Tanya Tucker come. And somehow he got us backstage to get Alabama's autographs, and then a guard that he knew got us back behind there to Tanya's bus. When she come off of the stage, she headed right to the bus, and then she came out, and there was a few people standing around. She signed autographs for her. She'd come out and sign autographs, and Cliff was the very first one she got to. And boy, that tickled him to death. And I have thanked her, over the years, got to work different places with her, and I've thanked her many a time for that.
I don't remember who he went to Reba with on this one. He went to Reba several times, but this time he was able to get held up by somebody and had a rose in his hand, and was able to give her a rose during the concert. I believe it was whenever they were playing with Brooks and Dunn in '98. But he told that story a lot and how proud he was because Reba was his girl. And he didn't care about anybody else. Reba was his woman.
I think that there is a picture somewhere that she signed for him. Somewhere. I think that he got one through the mail or something.
It was her, and he had a poster of Michael J. Fox that was signed from Family Ties.
Yeah.
Right before he went off to do Back to the Future.
How about that?
He had one signed by the actor that played Freddy Krueger. I forgot what his name is. Robert Englund. Because he was a big Freddy Krueger fan, and he didn't really like the rest of the Friday the 13th. He liked the first one, and that was it.
Yeah.
The one that had the more suspense with the mom, and what was the other one? Chucky? Child's Play?
Yeah, he liked Child's Play.
He liked Child's Play.
Chucky.
But he was big on movies. It didn't matter if it was the old time horror, not like the newer type, where it was a lot of gore. He liked a lot of suspense, like Halloween.
Yeah.
And then he loved comedies. Didn't really, even though that I loved it back then, he didn't really care for the Adam Sandler stuff. He said it got a little too corny, but he loved stuff that would make you think, like Airplane.
Naked Gun.
Yeah. He loved Naked Gun, and the strangest one that he liked too was Pink Panther.
Pink Panther.
He liked the Pink Panther, and
I remember he had Weird Science on a VHS, and we would look at that a good.
What was the other one that had the weird laugh with the guy? Revenge of the Nerds?
Oh gosh, yes. Lord. We went to the theaters to see that.
You did?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Oh gosh. Oh, I like, boy, he would crack up when he would do that laugh in the theater too. Yeah.
Is that the one with at the very end where they would have the rock concert or whatever?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And he would trip out laughing about the
He
rock
liked
concert.
the one that played the fiddle too. Because the one that played the fiddle was it was Revenge of the Nerds. But this one had the big thick glasses and had his mouth out, and he liked that one. He loved that one. Yeah.
You know, Cliff fell in love one time. It was when Grandpa Murray died. That would have been about 77 or 78. Right up here, Josephine Ray lived, and Robbie Ray, right in this house. Well, the night of the funeral or the night of the viewing, whatever, all us kids wound up here at Robbie's. We was 10, 11 years old, something like that. Well, there was a pretty little girl showed up there. Her name was Terry Onobaney. And you know who I'm talking about. And Kim Pittman and myself and Terry, and there was another little girl, and I can't remember who that was. All sitting in Cliff, all sitting in there, and we got to play and spin the bottom. Well, what you do is spin the bottle, and whoever it landed on, you'd go in the closet and you had to try to kiss them. So Cliff, spinning the bottle one time, landed on Terry. And they went in the closet, and I think he kissed her. And from that day forward, man, he was in love. We wrote her letters in crayon. Because we couldn't find a pencil or a pen, and we found crayons, and she lived seemed like in Georgia. And we wrote her a letter in crayon and sent it to Georgia to her. And he
She
was,
still lives in Georgia.
yeah, I think she does.
She does?
Yep. We,
That's doctor.
doctor, that's right. So Terry, if you're watching, I hope you remember that.
What are some of the hardest things that you actually saw him go through? And I'll go with Harold on that one first. Sorry,
Hardest
buddy.
things that I've seen him go through. Well, kind of like you said, when you were out in public and people staring at him and didn't understand, seeing him with with the disease they had, they just didn't understand. And like you said, you could see the hurt in his face when people would stare at him or whatnot. Those are one of the things, having to, certainly chop up his food real fine so he could eat it. That's all he knew, but I think it kind of bothered him when we were out, say we were out somewhere and all of the rest of us could eat, solid, and he'd have to eat something,
Right.
Soft, and not be able to join in with the rest of us as far as not being able to eat, what we could, or a lot of times not being able to go places that we could go just simply because he wasn't able to do it a lot of times. But he went to a lot of places, and it didn't.
Yeah, the Compass used to even put us up to where we could actually have it in the back
That's right.
and
That's
do it
right.
for him.
So those are the type of things that we seen and of course, like you say, if you with a female or whatnot, and you want to spend time with the female, and he knew you want to spend that time with that female, but he wanted you to spend time with him too,
That's
and
right.
so those are the kinds of things that stand out, I guess is a good way to say that.
I think losing Lily was one of the hardest things in the world. on him.
That took a toll on him. Yeah.
It did. And but he told me later, he said, I think the Lord took Mama first, because he knew that if Daddy had went first, if John Mark had went first, Lily couldn't drive, and couldn't carry him, doctor and whatever. It would have been harder. And he said, I really think sometimes that's why Lily went first.
He used to say that it would be because of the fact that he knew that the relationship between him and Papa weren't the best, and then they finally got to a point right before he passed to where it was very good.
He had also too, right before he passed too, his concern that he talked to me one time, his concern was that he was being a burden. That he was being a burden to John Mark, and I had to tell him, Bo, don't think like that. He's doing what he wants to do.
That's right.
And so that was one thing that really, what's the word I'm looking for? That really laid on him heavy. He thought he was a burden, and which he wasn't. He was a blessing. He was a burden. He was a blessing.
He was a blessing. You could see him going through stuff, and he wouldn't complain that much. Once in a while you hear him say something, but people going through little bitty things, little minute something that don't amount to nothing, and all they do is complain and gripe and but Cliff just wouldn't do it. He 99% of the time had good outlook, you know, and took everything well. I think God's reasoning, and this is just a feeble-minded man. Look at the lives
He touched.
that he touched. Ours, you know, him and Cal both, and the outlook that they had 95% of the time. Look at the lives that they touched. And I think people looked at them and said, well, why can't I be like that?
And they
I could
both
have-
really exceeded the life expectancy.
Right.
There's
See-
so many that I've met that are in their 20s right now that got to hear him from the P15s,
Right.
and then they're in their late 20s, early 30s. That I'm still meeting
Yeah.
today.
That's right.
Just your Uncle Cliff touched my life.
Yep.
From
Those kids at that school, Alice Drive School,
Mhm.
they'll never forget him. Never. Raised all that money for him. Look at those lives he touched.
that, and they're still doing an award for him every year.
Yeah.
Every year, Dean usually presents it, and they give an award to it's either the most studious child of that year, or what they do is the most kind, or one that's going through a lot of troubles with a disease that needs lifting up, that they have a good heart. I know that Dean takes pride in doing that each year,
Yeah.
and it just, I was able to go for the last 2 years and just see that, and it is a humbling experience, but it was hard for me to go to some of these things.
Years and years and years ago, there was a brother and a sister up in North Carolina. And I can't remember where they were from. Marilyn and Ricky Hoover. They were just like Cal and Cliff, had same disease. They come here one time and stayed overnight, I think.
Yep.
And they did not, no ways, have the outlook on life and the happiness and joy that Cal and Cliff had. They were, you know, they didn't have it. And that shows a lot, you know, of how Cal and Cliff was raised.
That's exactly
You
right.
know, and nothing against the Hoovers at all. Both of them are gone now, and I think they died. Ricky died shortly after they left here, and then Marilyn died a year or two later. But they didn't know the peace and the joy that Cal and Cliff did through all the suffering.
I could say this about what you just said. Talking with most of our family and most of you guys, our parents, grandparents went through a lot, but their faith was driven even through the times that they've gone through.
Right.
And I remember Papa and Grandma fussing about stupid stuff.
No.
But at the end of the night, they still opened the Bible, prayed together, and set aside their differences for the next day.
That's what you did.
And I saw that. I didn't just see that whenever I moved in here for those 3 years. I saw that before that. I not only saw that with my grandparents, I saw that with my mom, with the things that she was going through. I saw that with even recently before she passed. I mean, she knew she was going, but man, she'd still have her Bible open.
Yeah.
She would still be as faithful as she could.
Train up the child.
And they still play at 12 o'clock, I hear. That's the bass.
Right on the nose.
10 o'clock, you hear playing taps. 7 in the morning.
But it is a testament not only to that, to what we're even doing here. Yeah, we're talking about good times, but we talk about Christ, and that's the main thing that is the main focus that a lot of people always keep on asking why we're doing this.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else. Yeah, I hear the craziness of our stories and the sometimes the hell that used to be raised, but it's more of how we did things and how our hearts were still torn towards what we needed to do with Jesus, who we needed to tell about Jesus. And you just said it, you hit the nail on the head, joy. There's a difference between happiness and there's a difference between joy.
Yeah.
Happiness is man-made, to worry about man-made gifts. Joy is you might be going through a tough time, that's a hard time, but you know exactly where God's going to bring you out in the end.
Yep. Joy is here.
And it's
And a man can choose his joy. And what I like about all of this, the ones we've done in the past, the ones you've done, it's a celebration of those that are gone, already, and showing the joy and peace that even though hell could be raining down on them, they still had that hell. I mean that hell. They still had that peace and that joy about them.
Yeah. That was definitely something I still remember. I am very gracious for the conversation that you and I had, especially about your daddy.
Yeah, Lawrence went through some stuff now.
To hear him just getting on his knees after all the stuff that he was going through with the strokes, and for the man to still get on his knees and pray, and you to see it and you to hear it. And not just, I could tell you probably with him, it wasn't just for like 20 minutes or so at a time. It was probably like a good hour sometimes where he was probably just sitting there praying.
a lot of times I'd crack the door and I wouldn't say a word to him. I just, that was telling, and you sit back and think on those things, and
That's right.
and
But here's the biggest thing, is that all three of us had that same experience to where it went on in our house.
Yeah.
Everybody's wanting to do it now for a show at church, but they don't want to do it outside their homes.
that's the biggest problem. They don't do it in their homes, and it tells.
It does. It does. And it doesn't just tell with your lifestyle, it tells with how you speak and how you understand Jesus.
That's right.
And that's just the biggest thing right now, is that I think we're missing that even in our own family. We're missing it to where we're not doing the things like it was done. And I don't know when it stopped.
I think life, this day and time, is so fast-paced. Look at my schedule. I ain't never home to sit down very many times through a month to with my family. I'm good for everybody to be together twice a year. And it's just, life has taken over. You don't take time like you used to sit down and pray, sit down and read with your Bible with your family, to do the daily bread things.
But it humbles me. It really does, because it makes me think of the things. And that's what we'll close out with, is that, man, every single time whenever we talk about all this stuff, that's the biggest thing that I feel led to talk more about. Is I heard about Isaac, I heard about Lawrence.
Yeah.
I need to do one with your mom. I need to. There's others that I want to be able to have that conversation with, but the thing is some of them are very scared to do it, and I understand why. Because there's a lot of things that's happened in our family that don't need to come out.
Yeah.
And it's not. I'm looking for the good times and the great
That's what we want
times.
to celebrate them good times.
Yes. And that's part of the good times.
Yeah.
I shared the Christmas cantata. The reason why I did that was because that thing was hilarious. Sometimes,
If we could get that one from 1986,
well, if I can find it.
if you can find that one, put that one on there if you want to laugh. That's what,
Well, there was one from, it was either 95, it was 95 or 96. Me and Keith were the shepherds. And I dropped the cane straight on Keith's head. And he about cussed me out up there. And Bubba had to calm him down, his daddy.
and you can rest assured, Stretch called me down.
But he had every right to kick my tail if he wanted to, though, because I sure dropped it straight on his head. But yes, there were times like that if anybody has those videos, I need to find them.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I know that we used to have that one I was talking about, 86. They used to have it was in here, it was in Cal's room. And what happened to it, I don't know. Dean may have it, I don't know.
I have no idea, but the ones that I had, the 100-year anniversary one with Eliezer, and also that other tape that I had from 1990, I had to deep clean, because it's got mold. Anytime that you get old tapes that sit in a moisturized unit, they'll have mold inside of it, and you have to be very careful with those, because if it goes through your VHS, it can get the mold through your VHS player, for your VCR, excuse me. And so I had to deep clean that other one. That's the reason why it was so choppy.
But that was real good. It was real good.
But it's there. But yes, that's part of the reason why we've been doing this. It's all about who we've actually been raised around, what happened, the fun that we used to have, the love that we used to share. Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons, the race would be on over here. You would come over to the house and eat sometimes with us. The storms, whenever the storms would happen, and
the heavy dews that would fall and get all the women.
well, you just, I mean,
fixing to rain.
it was Mary and Mama. Both had the biggest fears of storms.
Lily was bad. Sister was bad.
Well, I mean, it just, we all traveled here, and you see how this house is now. I don't know why we traveled to this house sometimes. Those were some of the best times of my life.
Yep.
Just sitting here talking, and the power would go out. We would have those little lanterns, the gas lanterns.
Yep, and gas lamps.
And
Or kerosene lamps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kerosene lamps way back then.
yeah, and it was just,
Somehow or other, and we can't tell this on this, but this is funny. Somehow or other, we had some candles at the house. And me and Cliff get in there and play with them candles. He come there one morning, and I was still in my underwear. And I was sitting in the floor cross-legged. I can't sit cross-legged now for nothing. Lighting that candle and playing. Well, at that time, I don't know where he come up with some old dude boxer shorts, but that's what he had me wearing, for boxer shorts. And they gap open everywhere. I had that candle in my hand, boy, and I was holding it like that, the wax dripped down on my feet. Boy, I jumped. I'd pulling my pants down and trying to put it out and get the wax off, and Cliff was dying, man. He was just dying.
Oh my goodness.
So I think he put a blister on it.
Put that on that thing. Or during Hugo, he wasn't here. When all the power was out, all of us got together. I'll never forget it. We had the grill right over there. whatever we had in the freezer, we put it on there. I mean,
That was for 2 weeks, wasn't it? I mean, it was pretty much 2 weeks. He
yeah.
couldn't get out and do anything.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, keep telling that.
Yeah, we put everything that you could think of on there. I mean, chicken, beef, steak, whatever was in the freezer, we was throwing it on there. I remember they was cooking and Libby missed and dropped some in the cold. And we put it back on there, and John Mark said, I believe that one tasted better than anyone else.
Well, they stopped me in Florence, or somewhere about Florence, when Hugo come, Lily called me. And right after it stopped, they had phone for just a little while. And I don't remember if I called her or she called me, and I was calling Chicken. And she said, you hide somewhere, I don't care where it's at, it's coming right for you. Well, it didn't. It veered off and died down before it got to me. So power was out, and the first days I could get off, I hid this away, see what I could do. Check on people. And they stopped me in Florence.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let me come this far in. And I think I don't remember how I'd spent so long now. I wormed my way back through the country and finally got in here. And they won't no power, they won't no nothing. That was a bad time.
You got that right. This whole road right here, trees, limbs. I mean, you couldn't even see the house. You had to cut.
And there was trees on the house, wasn't it?
Yeah, some on it. Yeah.
It was a bad time. Scary time.
If I'll start with you, Harold, on this one. If you could actually say, or when you get to see him again, what would you say to him?
Wow, what would I say?
There ain't no if, it's when you get to see him again.
When I get to see him again, golly.
Is this recording?
Mm-hmm.
What would I say to him?
Al, remember, you're going to be in heaven now, bro. You ain't going to want to say that, man.
What we said to him, he played a mean trick on us at his funeral, didn't we? We had to tote his casket all the way from the church all the way to the
He did.
Damn.
cemetery.
Halfway there, son, I was out of breath. I was panting. I was out of breath, man.
Oh.
I was panting. I told Harold, he was on the other side of me. I said, he got us this last time. He got us.
He got us on that. I would say probably, like I told you with Daddy, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting up with a little fella coming over here every week, because I know you were scared I'd break your toys and stuff like that. But thank you for just taking time with a little boy. And as we got older, like I was telling you about the RAs, thank you for being a mentor, and leading us in the ways that we needed to, as far as learning scripture and presenting it and telling others about Christ. Thank you for your testimony, like we was talking about earlier, for his outlook, for what he went through. But there's so many people that were inspired by him, us included.
That's right.
To know what he'd gone through, but still, had the outlook, knowing he had an eternal outlook, I guess is a good way to say it. He looked at that joy we was talking about. That's joy is eternal. And so he was looking forward to that eternal joy. And so that would be the big thing. Thank you for showing us what we needed, to, regardless of what you're going through, how tough a time, you can persevere through it, and you can reach that ultimate prize that he's at right now. Mm-hmm. And we will one day reach that. Now, we look at him, he's whole now. So
good feet and legs and hands.
Yeah.
Dancing all over the place.
Yes.
So I don't know how many verses in David I mean, that David wrote in Psalm that talks about dancing.
Yeah.
But he's probably dancing up a jig right now.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
The thank yous and the I love yous and all that is, yeah, that'd be some of the first things. Second thing was, I want to see if they got cheeseburgers in heaven. Because he told me one time, when I get my teeth, first thing we're going to do is go get a cheeseburger. And I've never forgot that. And we're going to find somewhere where there's a McDonald's.
That's fine.
Biggest thing with me, I think, and probably with you also, is the thank yous. And I love you and I miss you. And one day he's going to run up to us.
I like how you said that. Run up to us.
That's it. He's going to run up to us.
I love you both, and you know that.
We love you
We
too.
love
son.
you, brother.
Let's enjoy the rest of our time. New Year's is coming.
It sure is.
Yep.